Hi, I'm Tracy Napotnick. Yep, we are live. I wanted to welcome you to Salontraining.com with Mary Wilson, the beautiful Mary Wilson. And I love her hair today. You got to see it. It's really cool. She's going to be talking about why retail is still in our hands as beauty professionals. And it's such an important topic. So I'm so excited to see her. If you don't know what salontraining.com is yet, and you're seeing this, excuse me, on YouTube or somewhere else, salontraining.com is a platform for the beauty industry professional who is looking for trainers, educators, coaches to help them, and also jobs and contests and all kinds of stuff. So we'll put the link in the comments when this is over. You can check it out. And let's get into Mary Wilson today. So Mary, can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Hi, Tracy. It's great to see you. First of all, I want to congratulate you on an amazing website. And I should probably take I'm a little warm too. I'm going to take my jacket off too. Like you said, we're both saying it's cold where we are, and then it gets warm, and then it's cold again. Yeah. So that's good. We're both, we can lose our jackets and be more casual. So I have been a hairdresser for 30 plus years. I actually will celebrate 40 years next June. And I've done a lot of great things in the industry. I've had an opportunity to work and travel with lots of companies, big companies, small companies, educate, train, do platform work, marketing, developing products, playing with products, understanding products more deeply. And as I was preparing for this morning, I was thinking about when I left. So I'm in Iowa visiting my family now. We are in an RV, which is another part of our story. We travel in an RV wrapped with our brand. And I was thinking about when I left Iowa. So after I completed cosmetology college, I actually became an instructor for the school that I went to. And then I was a recruiter. So I went out to high schools and I did presentations, and I also helped people choose cosmetology as a career. When I moved to California, I was like, I don't know anyone. I couldn't probably get a job in a salon. It will take a while to get my California license. And so I was interested in becoming a salesperson, but I didn't think that I had any sales experience. And now when I look back, I was thinking, wow, I had a lot of sales experience. My job was to sell a career choice. And so that got me thinking more about the word sales. And I think that through our whole careers, this isn't anything new. Sales is kind of a dirty word, right? But we're all selling all the time. We're selling ourselves when we put our makeup on in the morning and we style our own hair. When we create our salon or our suite and we create our branding, we are always selling. And so retail becoming an extension of the experience in the salon sort of takes away that word sale. I do think we shouldn't say I'm not a salesperson or I don't like to sell, because if it becomes a system, it becomes an extension of the service.
We were just talking about that today. I told you I was working with a company or a salon, and some people definitely throughout the years, I'm sure you heard this too, and they say like, I did not go to school to be a salesman. They did not say that on the call today, but we were talking about it. You have to be a salesman, and there's a difference between being a pushy, awful salesman and being a good person that can recommend. I love the word recommend, because you can recommend services yourself. You can brand yourself. You can recommend the product. So I love the fact that you brought that up.
Right. And like you said, there is that stereotype of even sort of the old fashioned used car salesman, or creating information that's untrue. And so for me, the retail being that extension of the service becomes touch points during the service that becomes a system. And also for me, the definition of sales is enthusiastic, knowledgeable, and caring. So if you're coming from those three places, so enthusiasm is, I love the brand that I've chosen to sell. I'm enthusiastic about our brand because I created it. I should always be selling my brand because I'm enthusiastic about it. We made decisions, which I'd love to share with you, about how we would go to market to protect that relationship that stylists have with their clients. And then you have to also have that knowledge base. Sometimes I feel like people are afraid to share the products that they sell because they're not sure they have all the information. So taking a little bit of time and really studying those products that you love, and then just sharing why you love them. Just a few key ingredients. You don't need to know the complete ingredient deck for a product, but if you know a few key ingredients that are hopefully more natural and or have specific benefits, that's going to create excitement for the client. And then, of course, that piece of caring. So if you're coming from a place of caring, you're able to say to the client, particularly if they have hair color, right? So I want you to have lasting color. And in order to do that, these are the products that I recommend. You're going to get a longer lasting, more beautiful color, incredible shine, and your investment as well in that client walking out the door and looking beautiful is they're the best advertising that you can possibly have. A gorgeous head of hair is the place where people stop you in the grocery store and say, oh my gosh, who does your hair? I get asked all the time, and I'm unfortunately, I'm not in a salon, so I can't recommend someone, but I get asked all the time when my hair looks like this, when it's pulled up in a bun on the top of my head. Obviously, I don't get asked, or I throw a hat over it. But in order to have that best experience, if the clients take home what you recommend, they're going to be happier, and they're going to have longer lasting color and service. So enthusiasm, knowledge, and coming from a place of caring are important.
I'm taking notes. So if you see me looking away, I'm either looking at our comments or this. And so this interview is not by, about me, but I have to tell you this little story that reminded me of something when you said about that, the passion behind it. If you have a passion for what you use, there's no longer selling involved. When I think I was only like 18 or something, and I had my first job, it was at a chain salon, and I love my manager. She's still there. She ended up saying, I think you should start being a salesman or product knowledge coach or something like that. Go and teach. And I said, I don't even know what this is. She goes, I'm going to be sending you to Harrisburg. So she sent me to Harrisburg in front of this huge board, and I had no idea what I was talking about. At that time, I couldn't talk in front of anybody. Now you can't shut me up. But these people said, well, what are you here for? And I didn't realize it was a big corporation interview for me to train all their salons. And I said, I don't know. My boss just said I'm good at retail, that I should probably come here. And I said, I don't even know why I'm here. This is literally what I said during an interview. And they said, well, what do you want to sell? What do you want to teach? What product company do you want to be aligned with? And I said, I don't know. I don't know why I'm here. And they said, well, let me ask you this. Let me step back. What products do you like using in your hair? They had to dumb it down for me so much. And I said, oh my gosh, I love it. And I was a big Paul Mitchell person at the time. And I said, oh my gosh, I love Paul Mitchell. And this is why, blah, 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 blah. And they said, you know what? Do you see how you lit up? That's who you should sell for. That's who you should teach for. That's who you should line yourself with. He said, it doesn't matter what company it is. It's who you feel at that, and stuff like that. So when you brought that up, it reminded me our passion will come out if we use it. Right. And if we love it, our passion will come out for whatever brand at the particular time that we absolutely love.
Yeah, absolutely. And like you said, that's why she sent you, because she knew that you had that spark. So finding that spark and making that connection it really is easy. And, without getting into sort of the history of the evolution of retail, fewer and fewer stylists today, for a lot of reasons, are less likely to stock retail. Some of it is economics, and some of it is just kind of disillusioned with a lot of what has happened in the industry for availability for clients. So when, as I said before, Philip and we started our company and collective in 2019, and we spent the first 9 months out in the RV traveling the entire country. This is pre-pandemic, and really launching our brand with some wonderful key clients that are still our clients and doing a great job with brand. And yet we also saw that we couldn't just sell it in and just walk away, because we really had to be there to connect and support with the brand. And so what's happened through the pandemic, and some people, when they had to close their doors, they were stuck with inventory and they didn't know what to do. So they did opportunities to reach out to clients. I'll do curbside pickup. So that allowed some retail to continue. We're able to seek out companies like Salon Interactive. What we did is we would ship direct and give a higher percentage as well. And so what the point is that you want to find the right partners. And that was really the theme of today, finding those right partners to support you with retail that you need. And then also what we noticed is that people would be, in the chair, pulling up on their phone, thanks for telling me about this. Here's where I found it. And so great retailing salons are finding the dialogue to be able to say, if you purchase it from me, that helps to support my business and keeping my costs down. Perhaps you haven't raised your color costs, and many people have. They've had to raise prices because of costs. If you haven't, that could be your way of saying, retail helps me turn on the lights and pay for the hot water that I rinse your hair with. And that, that's a little bit extreme, but
it's real though. I mean, it really is real.
And if you tell the client that purchasing from you helps your business, they don't really know that. They don't even think about it that way. They're looking for that best deal. They're looking for that best opportunity. So there are some great brands that are sold, all over in lots of different ways. And that was part of our decision, for Philip and I, to start Wilson Collective in 2019, is we had like I said, we'd been with many companies, many of which very successful now. And one day in our shopping center near where we live, there's a CVS pharmacy right next door is a TJ Maxx. And I'd gone into CVS pharmacy to pick up a prescription. And then I went into TJ Maxx and I saw many of the brands which we helped build being sold in places. And I thought, there's got to be an opportunity to create a line that is clean and that is protected, that protects that relationship that stylists have with their clients. And so began the development of what would that look like? What would we have to do in order to make that happen? So we started with, we do sell online, but only on our own website. So we're not selling anywhere else. And that we are a small company. All of the salons we're speaking to right now are likely also small companies. There's large corporations, but they're by and large, most salons are small independent companies. And so are we. Philip and I have a very small staff. We don't have a warehouse. We don't have offices. We're not paying all these extra people and things so that we would be able to really protect. And we make the decisions about where our products are sold. Because we're both hairdressers, that is our major commitment, that we're not going to sell all of those places. We're not a marketing company that's after your introduction and then we'll take it, all kinds of different ways. So what we did is we set out with reasonable price points. So if we talk about economics, that's really important right now too, right? If salons our clients are struggling with, do I buy groceries or pay for gas? Then them coming to the salon, they may not want to pay $50 or $60 for a shampoo and conditioner. And so our price points are $25 to $32 retail. So we have reasonable price points. We have essential oil fragrancing. So that's just on the whole product side. We're very pleased with the results and people are pleased with the results. But on the business side, we kept our price points at a minimum. And we also sell for $4 higher per SKU online. So if somebody does sit in your chair and say, I found Wilson Collective and I'm going to buy it here, they would be able to say, oh, well, if you buy it there, it's $34. Our Final Act hairspray is $30. Aerosol hairspray, it's $34 on our website. Plus you pay shipping. So you can walk out of the door today with the product and you'll be able to take it home with you. Or you can also tap into resources such as Salon Interactive. And we also work with Salon Service Group throughout the Midwest, and they have something called SSG Direct. So those are both avenues by which you can sign up and you can have that as a resource on your website. Many people during COVID were sort of caught out and didn't have those additional ways to create revenue. So it's great to have both of those opportunities. Like I said, we don't promote our website, but we still get orders on our website. So people, in some cases, they just want to shop when they want to shop. And so as a salon, whatever size you are, you really should take some time to invest in having that as one of the options that's available to your clients.
So that's great information. You had said like the topic today is why retail is still in our hands. And it is in our hands because you just named quite a few ways that you can do it. Find a company that you believe in, find a company that supports the hairdresser. That I think that's a huge topic right now that we could do one whole conversation just on that. But the retail, they could walk out with it in your salon, like you said, as long as they know that it supports you, instead of getting it on their phone, have it there for them. there's other options too, that if you can't stock that much, that they could go in. Is there any affiliate links on yours just yet? Or I know that
We don't have affiliate links, but we are associated with Salon Interactive
okay.
all over the country, except for that market with Salon Service Group. They have their own SSG Direct. So everywhere there are opportunities, except Alaska. And unfortunately, that is based on how expensive it is to ship there. Our partner up there, she's like, oh, we just can't do that, because they've made the commitment that they won't ship to consumers. And so it's not easy to do that from the US. But so yeah, so as you were saying, Tracy, the other thing that we did, as hairdressers that have been in the business a long time, we only have 12 SKUs. So we have 3 shampoos, 3 conditioners, and then a limited number of stylers. So unfortunately, often as brands grow, they just keep adding more products. And so when you think about looking at your salon through the eyes of the consumer, if you have thousands of choices, it's overwhelming for them and it's confusing. And it's also hard if you have a staff to understand all the products. And so there seems to be a tendency to not sell at all if you're not sure. So that goes back to that knowledge piece. So for me, what I feel like is, and we'll sit, we have appointments in salons. I'll sit in the reception area and I'll watch as people are bringing people up to check them out, and their next client is here and they're ready and they're waiting. And so the point of closing out the sale really isn't the only time that you should be sharing that knowledge and that caring and the enthusiasm. So for me, it's starts with while you're shampooing. As I said, we use essential oils. And so when shampooing, talking about what you're using, when you're applying the product. So this is creating that system, right? So while shampooing, when you're putting the product on their hair, put the product in their hands. So we have a brand new volume foam that's beautiful. So you squirt that onto the scalp, hand it to them, have them hold it, flip it around and talk about the ingredients, have them touching that product. And then it's their choice to have to put it down on the station, but you've got it in their hands. And then of course, as you're finishing and styling, talking about the attributes of what it is doing for their hair. And then at the end of the service, asking for the sale. Here's what I used on you today. Here's what I recommend that you take home. These are the products. Which would you like to take home with you? So creating that dialogue. I was texting this morning with my friend, Neil Dukoff, who started Strategies, and he had told me about something called this happiness method, and it actually shows up that happiness on their ticket or on their receipt. And the client says, "What is that?" And it's like, happiness is free, but that is their system of rebooking, touch all those touch points from when they walk in the door until they leave. And then their job is to create this happiness experience. And so maybe that's a model that would work for you. Neil said that he would drop it actually into the chat so people can download that. Yeah, it's really great to follow. And you might say, okay, I want to create my own. So what is your system? What will you create in dialogue with every single client that sits in the chair that will give you greater retail sales? And truly, it is asking for the sale is sometimes really hard, but if you start doing it every time, it's not, right? It becomes the way you do business. It becomes the way that you support your clients.
Right. And I was actually talking to a couple people this morning, like I said earlier, about retail and products and take home. And sometimes it's not just, I agree. It's definitely the dialogue. It has to be the dialogue. You have to get it down. But sometimes it's just finding out what they've already used before, what they currently use, what they like, what they don't like, and how you can fix it. So if you think about it and you create that dialogue for your team or for yourself, is knowing that you're not selling a product. You're not like trying to push something on someone that everybody uses shampoo. We know that. Most people use conditioner. Most women use some type of hairspray. We use products. And I think sometimes when I'm talking to stylists out there, and I'm sure you're the same, well, I don't want to sell. They can get it on Amazon. Or I don't want to sell. They can do this. Yeah. Why would you want them to? Like, my question is, why would you want them to? I always ask that. And they'll say, well, because I just don't want to sell. I just want to do their hair, which is great. But they're coming to you for all of those needs. They're coming to you because their hair's dry. They're coming to you because it needs cut. They're coming to you because it needs color. Well, why can't you fix all of their needs for them, having the product right there? And even if you don't get commission off of it, I've heard that quite a bit. Well, I don't get commission, or I only get this money commission or whatever. How do you feel about that? It's not necessarily about the commission. It's about the service. Do you agree to that?
Well, I think it's both. And I don't think there's too many places where you don't get something for selling. And I think maybe, like you said, they look at it as a small percentage. But it does, if it becomes an extension of you, and it becomes an automatic dialogue, then whatever comes, right? So I think that it shows that you're professional, and it shows that you care. And I love what you said, because I also had written in my notes too, to have a few compelling questions. Like you said, what do you love the most about your hair? What do you find is the most challenging thing about your hair between the last time we saw each other? How is it going? And then that gives you clues for what you might be able to recommend for them, because it is your job to, be able to help them. It's an old saying, but it's absolutely true. None of us would go to the doctor and then, write our own prescription. And so it's critical that that you are the professional, and if you have that knowledge base and you have the availability, then they should be purchasing their products from you, ideally.
Absolutely. And there's definitely research that if they purchase from you and they purchase on the spot, they're more likely to get in your chair rebooking with you and become more of a loyal client, of course, too. We all know that. So sometimes when we let them go and just say, yeah, you'll buy, they might be searching different things, get something different that they might come across, where if they can get it right from your hands, I can promise you, and Mary can promise you, and I'm sure every educator out there can tell you the same thing. If they purchase a product from you within that visit, they're more likely to be in your chair more often and more frequently, and talk about you more often. I love what Gino does. He says, I'm sure you know where I'm going with this. Gino always says, if you're going to someone's dinner party, don't bring wine. You don't sell wine. Bring them the product. Mary's going to bring her product, because that is what she is passionate about. And you have some really great products. I know so many people, like I was at the Ohio show, and Taylor, had your product right on stage. She was using it. Many educators are using your products and finding out how good they are. So it's great that you want to come, branch out to different areas too. And we talked about, and not to put you on the spot, but we're talking about the show in April.
Always be selling.
Yes. I'm going to be promoting this show for every day of my life until April. So April 24th and April 25th in Western Pennsylvania. So if you're from Ohio, West Virginia, or Maryland, or Pennsylvania, we're right at the tip. There is a show at Seven Springs Mountain Resort, and Mary and her husband and the Wilson Collective most likely will be there, correct?
Yes. Yeah, I'm going to say 90% sure, just finalizing what our travel schedule looks like with the RV and where we're going to be in the country. But I do think that I'm excited about it. I know you are too. And it really does sound like a return to a great experience that people expected in that market. So yes, we would love to be part of that. And we're excited to finalize it's so weird that it's almost November 1st. So it's like, wow, we really do need to have the first half of next year figured out, so yeah, all good.
So just to recap here, why retail is still in your hands, because it is. You are the professional. Do you want to elaborate any more on that?
Well, I would say that, choose the right partners that support you, whether that is your local distributor. Is it the companies have great points programs, opportunity to travel? We're going to be part of the cruise next year. We have the beauty industry cruise that we're part of, and hopefully we'll be with you as well. So it's where can you go? Where can you connect with community as well? I think through the pandemic and, there's been such a disbursement of people in our business. There's so many more independent stylists, which is great, but then you lose the community, right? So when you're off on your own, who becomes your community? So we have our Wilson Collective Pros Only Facebook group. We're very active in there. We're also on Instagram.
Can you back up a second? Can you tell them about your group? Because it's fascinating. The education that's in that group, how did they become part of that with you?
So there's no charge, of course, to be part of the Facebook group, but you do have to be a professional. So you just answer 2 questions. So yeah, it's Wilson Collective Pros Only, which is in the groups area. And we do Tuesday tips, tricks, and techniques, which is cutting, styling, finishing, working with irons and dryers. We do Wednesday Wilson Wisdom, where we have special guests once a month, and we try to do something that's going to help you further your business in that category. And then, of course, we're always active. We have a group called our Style Influencers, which are our educators that go through our program, learn the product knowledge, do our program called I Am a Great Presenter, which we have the next one in January. So, and I want to talk a little bit about that, Tracy, too, because I was thinking about that as I was preparing for today, is that oftentimes not everyone wants to get up on stage, but everyone is on stage when they're in front of even one client. So we look at I am a great presenter as that everybody is and has within themselves the ability to be a great presenter. And it really is about communication skills. So whether you're communicating with one person or you're communicating with thousands, it's a great program that really goes through how to create an opening, how to build the body of and sell through the body of a presentation, and then how to close out any presentation. So again, that could be every client that sits in the chair. And as we said before, creating that system for how you're going to speak about what you're using, or it could be that you're doing a cutting technique, such as the Wilson method. So we also have a dynamic and incredible cutting technique that my husband Philip created. So the education piece is really strong. Yeah.
And I know this isn't about this, but we still have to talk about real quick, like whenever we're on it, is your cutting method. We can't get into a big thing, but you guys do something very unique. And I actually know someone that took your class and they're like, it was so amazing. It was really good. And I have some of your brushes and your products. You guys really have a lot of great things going on. So real quick, what is the Wilson method of cutting? If you can shorten it to like, what is it?
Of course,
So
I
cool.
can do that. The elevator pitch, they call it. If you got in an elevator with someone before you got to whatever floor. So the Wilson method was created by my husband, who was trained in Europe and in the UK. So Europe being French and some kind of Italian influence, and then also Sassoon. So he learned precision cutting, and he also learned a more free form cutting off of brushes as rollers came out of the hair. And so he created the Wilson method by using larger sections with combs and brushes. So it's basically a condensed cutting of hair where we use 2 combs to gather all the hair together, or we use 2 brushes to gather all the hair together, and then soft layers in most cases. So we were really excited because this fall we were back in our home office in September, and he was able to explore some of the wolf, the butterfly, some of the new long hair cutting ideas using the Wilson method. So what the Wilson method does for you is it creates speed and efficiency. And it also is really fun for the client, because as they're watching this creation take place, they know that not everyone cuts hair that way. And so it kind of creates that loyalty for the client as well. So the Wilson method is a dynamic, fun, interesting, different way of looking at cutting hair.
Yeah, if you think about it, if you're working with stylists, like say 20 different stylists, and you're doing something that's a haircut with combs and everybody else is just doing a butterfly clip or something in there, you are going to stand out. You're always on stage in front of your clients, in front of anybody else. So I think that was really cool. I remember whenever the chopsticks first came out instead of clips, and, a couple of us would use them and everyone's like, well, that's different. Or cutting someone's hair completely upside down. It would be a stage performance. And then they're like, what in the world? I want to go and sit in that chair, so,
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And it's not gimmicky either, because I think people sit there like, oh, that's a gimmick. It's like, no, it makes sense when you understand bringing all the combs together in the front of the face allows for even distribution from side to side, or the same thing in the back. You can create an inverted bob in 2 or 3 minutes instead of taking hours working across the back of the head. As you move up, it happens really quickly with the 2 combs. So you have to understand, we can't teach a student who's never cut hair before, because you have to understand movement and, where the hair falls on the head. But once you understand those things, you can be very successful with it.
Well, thank you so much. And whenever this is done, we will turn it into a YouTube video and different things like we said. But today, if you don't mind, just drop in your Facebook link that they can find you better through the Wilson Collective right in the chat. or not the chat, I'm sorry, right here. I'm looking at
Uh-huh.
this. You know what?
Absolutely.
We have a
Yes,
couple quick
link to
questions.
join. Yeah. Oh, yes. Happy to answer questions.
Okay.
Yeah.
Misty Walker, you know her, right?
Hi,
Yeah, she's
Misty.
one of your people. Yeah. Okay, so just a couple comments real quick is people are agreeing clients believe they buy what you believe. So you are their professional. So make sure that you remember that. There's all kinds of stuff like that. I love this. We need to get retail back. We do. We are the
Yeah.
ones that are working on hair. These stores are not working on their clients. Like we need to give it back.
Right.
Oh, good. Neil put his
Yeah.
stuff on there, Taylor. Okay, so just
Yeah.
a lot of really great comments. So thank you guys for watching.
Yeah.
We're gonna
Yeah.
probably wrap it up here now. And do you have any last statements or anything?
Well, I would just say, you know, we're proud of Wilson Collective. We're proud of what we've done. We're a small company. We're completely 1000% committed to helping salons keep the dollars behind the chair. And so, you know, join us, become part of our family, and we will respect and we will protect that relationship. So, and thank you, Tracy. You are really an amazing advocate for the entire industry, and we're proud to work with you as well.
Oh, thank you so much. All right. Well, you guys have a fabulous day. We'll put a couple links in the comments for you, and we'll see you soon. Okay.
Thanks, Tracy. Bye everybody.